come to you if it was not for the fact we had very competent technical team. That Mudhomi, I cannot pronounce the other name. I just call him Mudhomi. It's a Tharaka name, Vionkori. I never heard of the name. He's from my neighborhood, but that is, he did very well along with Zain here and Professor Adams. From here, Your Excellency, just proceed. Just give us a final product, and the country will settle. And as I said, the difficult issues, as we speak here, their family is mourning. We could not even get a place to hold a prayer service for the killed, for the young men who lost their lives. And they had to come up to my secretariat. We pretended we can have a church service there, because the churches there would not touch us. Right? And of course, the issue of Kimani was very eloquent on destroyed property and reparations. So you may have to think of a commission between you and your brother and see how best we can actually deal with this matter of grieving Kenyans. Grieving, they don't understand what happened. All they know is they lost their loved ones. And so that's a matter you consort. Principle of concurrence, discussion, concurrence, I'm sure is not a difficult one. But then, finally, Kimani Ichung'wah was very kind to Raila. He actually announced to him, and I believe he was doing it, repeating what he already knows, that President William Ruto is campaigning for Raila to become the AU chairperson. This is a matter that puts all of us together as a country, and we are very proud of that situation. And so, without much ado, can we now move to the next thing, Opio? Yeah, thank you. I think you can make your comments after we give you the document.
Your Excellency, you allow us to hand over the report. Then I will invite the Deputy President. We cannot invite you to speak when the Deputy President is here. We'll ask him to make brief remarks, then invite you after we hand over the report. So, Your Excellency, that is the report, and you have a look at it. And now it's my pleasure to invite the Deputy President to make brief remarks, then invite you to speak.
Your Excellency, our President, Dr. William Ruto, Your Excellency, former Vice President Kalonzo, and members of the two teams that have been trying to come up with a document to put our country on a peaceful trajectory. Let me take this opportunity to really thank the two teams for your pragmatism, for your patience, and for the hours that you have spent to come up with a document that will bring peace and tranquility to our country. Your Excellency, I must admit that I was a bit skeptical from the beginning whether these discussions will see the light of the day. I must admit I had estimated the resilience of the Kenyan people to look for peace and tranquility, and I have since been very impressed by what has happened, and I think this is the way to go. Kenya is bigger than all of us, and we in the executive and our president are very happy to have a peaceful environment because we have a plan and a mandate with the people of Kenya that would like to execute and implement in a peaceful environment. We are therefore very happy that there is peace and tranquility in the country. And going forward, after the two houses have done justice to the report, we believe that we'll have peace forever, and never again shall we settle our political differences in the streets of Nairobi and other towns through violence, through destruction of property, through shouting at each other, but rather talking to each other for the benefit of the people of this great republic. With those very few remarks, it is now my humble duty to invite the President of the Republic of Kenya to make his remarks. Your Excellency.
Mheshimiwa Deputy President, Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka, our former Vice President, Mheshimiwa the leadership of the House, led by Kimani Ichung'wah, Aaron, Pio Wandai, and members both of the committee and members of the Secretariat. First, let me take this opportunity on behalf congratulate you for first accepting to undertake this weighty responsibility that we put on your shoulders to discuss the issues that are of concern to all of us as a nation. And I am very happy, and I had no doubt in my mind, having traveled this journey as a politician in Kenya for a long time, I had no doubt in my mind that this was an assignment that was doable. And I'm very proud that we finally have a report, and the report has already been adopted by both houses of parliament, and we are now well on course to implementing it. Let me also take this opportunity to commend our former Prime Minister, the Honorable Raila Odinga, for the decision that we jointly made to make sure that we take the country on this path, the path of peace, of dialogue, consultation, conversation, that is what defines Kenya. Kenya is a country that is very well known, and we have credentials as a country, as believers in democracy, and that we can always use democratic means to resolve whatever issues that arise. Because as our democracy matures, we consistently have to look out for avenues that gives us the opportunity and leverage to resolve whatever issues that are identified amongst us. And therefore, I'm very happy that today what happened to us and the teams managed to hammer out an agreement on many issues. Actually, most of the issues. And what is outstanding are issues that we will resolve as a matter of course, and I'm sure that the same commitment that brought us to this point will take us to the finish line. I am particularly happy
of proposals, and we now have a joint proposal with a bill in Parliament. We also have agreed on the issues of the other proposal that's already in Parliament with a bill is ESCC. I hope you included Mambo Matatu. Yeah, okay. Again, let me also congratulate you on finding an agreement on the constitutional provision that will make NGCDF a constitutional imperative, so to speak. The oversight fund that the Senate will access, and also NGAF that will be available to our women members of Parliament. I am sure Wambilianga and my sister here, Amina, will be happy when we finally make that NGAF a constitutional bill that will constitutionally provide for resources for our women members of Parliament to discharge their responsibilities and to serve the people of Kenya appropriately. And as Stephen has said, I am happy that the outstanding issue of two-thirds gender, finally, both sides have agreed on a way forward. I want to encourage all of us that this time round, I think we have an opportunity to make sure that we deliver on this constitutional imperative. Parliament is teething on a problematic area on the matter of two-thirds gender rule. So hopefully we will be able this time round, and I am very confident that this time round we will get it right, and the women of Kenya will take their place of leadership appropriately in the Republic of Kenya, because we are all the poorer if women have not taken up their position in the leadership of Kenya. Today, I think, is a very important day. We are celebrating International Women's Day. And as we do that, we are having this concurrence of minds on delivering on the two-thirds gender provision. So I hope, in honor of all our girls, our daughters, our wives, our mothers, and all the women of Kenya, we will be able to do this for us as a country. Let me also congratulate all of you. I know that when you have constituencies, you know, when you represent people, it's difficult to carry everybody's view. And sometimes you get blamed for this or the other. But I am confident that you had the fortitude and the strength and commitment to make sure that you did the right thing. So, members of this committee, members of the Secretariat, I want to give you my assurance that I will do the best I can to make sure that we deliver on the agreement that you have made. It is not an agreement of one side versus the other. It is our collective position. And we will mobilize members of Parliament. We will mobilize every aspect of what is required so that we can deliver on this commitment. And let me give my commitment that I will do the best I can. We all know, the good thing is that all of us here are members of parliament. Have been members of parliament, let me put it correctly. Have been members of parliament. And you know how parliament operates. Even on bills that I went out with my Kenya Kwanza people. We went out, we told people, we are going to run a program called housing. So when it comes to passing the bill on housing, the people you were with on the platform now come again and say, lakini sasa unajua, iko maneno. Then you ask them, but we promise the people. So those dynamics, we have to keep working at them. So I really want to ask Parliament this time round, because whenever I call a PG here, and they really take a lot of my time, I have to explain at length, many times. I have to repeat myself for us to forge an agreement. I promise to do the same over this report. And I really want to persuade our members of parliament from both sides of the house to work towards doing the best for Kenya. I ask also colleagues from the other side to also mobilize their teams and take time so that people understand why we are doing this. Because sometimes Parliament pushes back and say they have a mind of their own, and they tell us that they are an independent house and we should not give them lectures. And I run into that all the time. But I'm sure this time round, knowing the magnitude of what we want to do, I want to ask members of Parliament to really consider working with us on this subject. Finally, let me commit to you, as I commit to the nation, that we will continue to do our best as a country to forge unity, peace, and so that we can drive the progress of Kenya, which leaves no citizen, no community, no side behind, that we will all move together. So thank you very much for the good job that you have done. When finally the history of Kenya will be written, I am sure that if you will not have a chapter, you will not miss some paragraphs in some place, that there were some good people who did a good job for Kenya. But when finally I write mine, surely you'll have a chapter. So I want to say thank you very much. I know my friend, former Vice President, has said that these good people have said that we are pushing the candidature of the former Prime Minister. And I said when I was in Parliament the other day with the East African Legislative Assembly that indeed we have agreed as leaders from the East African community, because it is the turn for the East African side of our continent to provide the leadership for AU. I have consulted with the leaders of our region, and we have agreed to support the candidature of the Honorable Raila Odinga. And it is because, number one, he is Kenyan. Number two, we believe he has the stature and the wherewithal to handle the affairs of that office. And number three, as East Africans, we have agreed that we move together in that direction. So, my friend Stephen and the teams here, you remember, we all remember, we pushed the candidature of Amina the last time. We did very well. She won the first round, but she didn't win the final round. And it is another opportunity for us as a country to present a candidate from Kenya for the position of AU. This is not about political sides. This is about Kenya. And we must always remember that there is politics and we have a nation. And when there are issues that concern Kenya as a nation, we must close ranks as communities, as parties, as sides, so that we can all move together. In fact, we do not have as many Kenyans in international positions as we should. And we should change our strategy so that we can be able to get more Kenyans occupying positions in the international framework, because take your seats. So I was just making the point that we have opportunities globally to present Kenyans for global positions, and we should exploit that opportunity, or continental ones for that matter. So thank you very much, good people. Thank you, Stephen, for, I'm sure you have said Kimani has become, you know, measured now. He's less frontal. I am sure he hung around you for a while, and the diplomacy around you may have rubbed on him. Yeah, and I'm sure we can all move together. And then my good friend Muthomi Thionkulu there, who was the leader of our team, you have said correctly that he's from Tharaka. And I thought you came from Tharaka. And therefore you shouldn't have a problem with the... Yeah, so yeah, he's a good guy, yeah? Okay, thank you very much. So otherwise, asanteni sana. It is good to meet old friends, Adam Solo there, and Zain. You know, we were together in the constitutional manenos, and so we've been on all sides in different times, and that is the nature of Kenyan politics. So otherwise, pongezi sana. I am truly grateful for this, and I am sure we're going to move together as a people. Asanteni sana. God bless you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. With your permission, I request please.